Hi guys, I'm standing here with Claudio Marcus. He's the Vice President of Visible World, and he's given us a lot of insights about Smart TV today. And my view is basically give us some insights on what is Smart TV in the future going to look like from a user perspective, and how to have marketeers to adapt to that development.
All right, so from the user perspective, you really can't treat all users the same. So there is a younger generation that's been accustomed to more interaction on the online in particular, but also with their mobile phones. And for that generation, there are some aspects of Smart TV that are very attractive in terms of being more interactive, more social. For other consumers, it may seem more like an intrusion in that there'll be a lot more things on their screen, a lot more things that they can do, but just because they're available doesn't mean that consumers will use them. Some will use some of the capabilities some of the time, others may not use them at all. And so from a marketing perspective, you need to plan for that full spectrum of consumers. You may have some new types of campaigns that are really oriented at engaging younger audiences and more socially active audiences, but you still need to think about what you're going to do with the more traditional audiences. TV is going to continue to be a very dominant medium, and it's important to understand what can you do with that traditional medium that is as impactful as some of these new capabilities.
Are you going to talk about first and second screen in the future?
Yes, I do think that there's a role for second screen. In fact, I'm not a big believer in crowding that first screen. In fact, if you think of all the program promotion and things like that already happen on the first screen, most consumers are fairly annoyed by that. So I do think the second screen is a much better opportunity to offer consumers who wanted additional information, promotional information, ways to engage with friends, etc. And in doing so, hopefully clear up some of the clutter on that first screen and leave that first screen for what it's really best at, which is to share powerful narrative, powerful stories with consumers, and along with that, relevant advertising.
You've been in the industry for quite a long time, and you've come to the DED here in London, and obviously I want to know, does that help you? Do you get insights from the speakers that have been here?
Well, it's interesting to get the digital perspective. I'm much more in the day-to-day with the traditional TV agencies, and so it's useful to get the digital perspective. It's also important for us to educate the digital agencies as to addressability, particularly the differences between the various advanced TV advertising capabilities. They have a fair amount of awareness around interactivity, social, mobile, but when it comes to addressable television, they're just not as aware, and so it's important to get the word out and have them understand that it is possible to engage consumers with much more targeted messaging without having to, or as a complement to many of these other advanced advertising capabilities.
Thanks for your input, Claudio.